The world of professional golf, long seen as a symbol of discipline, precision, and integrity, has just been shaken to its core at a single moment, a single decision, and suddenly, everything changes. At the center of this storm is one of the most talked about figures in modern golf, Bryson DeChambeau. A player known not just for his power, but for pushing the limits of the game itself. But this time, it's not his distance off the tee or his scientific approach making headlines. That it's controversy that a shocking drop decision during a high-stakes moment has ignited outrage across the PGA Tour. Fans are divided. Experts are questioning. And the golf world is asking one simple question. Was it within the rules, or did it cross a line? What really happened on that course? Why are people calling this a meltdown? And could this moment change how the game is played forever? This isn't just about one shot. This is about integrity, pressure, and the fine line between strategy and controversy. Let's break it all down. It all started during what should have been just another competitive round on the PGA Tour. The conditions were tough, the pressure was high, and every shot mattered. Bryson DeChambeau stepped up, focused as always. Known for his calculated approach, every move he makes is deliberate. But then came the shot that would change everything. His ball landed in a difficult position, awkward, potentially unplayable, and certainly not ideal. What happened next is where things took a dramatic turn. DeChambeau opted for a drop. Now, drops in golf are not unusual. Players take relief all the time. But this one was different. Spectators nearby began to murmur. Commentators paused. Even fellow players looked on with curiosity. Was the drop taken correctly? Was the relief area properly measured? Or was something off? As cameras zoomed in and replays began circulating almost instantly, it became clear that this was no ordinary ruling. The situation escalated quickly. Officials were called in. Discussions began. And within minutes, the calm atmosphere of the tournament had turned into a scene of tension and uncertainty. This wasn't just about a bad lie anymore. This was about rules, interpretation, and fairness, and the entire golf world was watching. To understand why this moment caused such an uproar, you need to understand the rules surrounding drops in professional golf. The PGA Tour operates under strict regulations. Every inch matters. Every decision is scrutinized. And players at this level are expected to follow the rules with absolute precision. In DeChambeau's case, critics argued that the drop may have provided an unintended advantage. Some claimed the relief area was stretched beyond what should have been allowed. Others suggested that the intent of the rule was being manipulated, even if technically it stayed within the boundaries. That's where things get complicated. Because in golf, it's not just about what's legal, it's about what's right. Social media exploded within minutes. Fans began posting clips, analyzing angles, and debating the legitimacy of the move. Some defended DeChambeau, pointing out that he has always been a player who studies the rulebook deeply. They argued that if he found a legal way to gain an advantage, that's simply smart golf. But others weren't convinced. They saw it differently. Them. It felt like the spirit of the game had been compromised. Commentators joined the debate. Former players weighed in. Analysts broke down every frame of the incident. And as the tension grew, one thing became clear. This wasn't just a rules discussion anymore. It was a full-blown controversy. Amid the chaos, all eyes turned to Bryson DeChambeau himself. What was he thinking in that moment? Was it a calculated decision or a reaction under pressure? DeChambeau has always been a unique figure in golf. Often called the scientist, he approaches the game differently than most. He analyzes everything: angles, physics, wind patterns, even equipment design. When he made that drop, many believe it wasn't accidental. It was intentional, calculated, thought through. In post-round interviews, DeChambeau defended his actions. He maintained that everything was done within the rules. From his perspective, there was no controversy, only misunderstanding. But being right on paper doesn't always win over public opinion. The pressure on him intensified. Every word he said was analyzed, every expression scrutinized. And this is where the human side of the story emerges. Because behind the headlines, behind the debates, is a player dealing with immense pressure. Professional golf isn't just about hitting shots. It's about handling scrutiny, expectations, and moments where one decision can define your reputation. For DeChambeau, this was one of those moments. And whether he was right or wrong, one thing was undeniable. He was now at the center of the biggest controversy in golf. As the dust began to settle, the impact of the incident started to become clear. The PGA Tour faced questions. Were the rules clear enough? Should they be revised? And how can similar situations be avoided in the future? Officials reviewed the footage. Analysts continued their breakdowns. And fans kept debating. But beyond the technicalities, something deeper had been affected: trust. Golf has always prided itself on being a game of honor. Players often call penalties on themselves. Integrity is part of the culture. Moments like this challenge that image. Even if the rules were followed, the perception of fairness matters just as much. For young players watching, for fans who love the game, and for the future of the sport, these moments shape how golf is seen. And for Bryson DeChambeau, this incident will follow him, not necessarily as a mistake, but as a defining moment, a moment that sparked conversation, a moment that divided opinion, and a moment that reminded everyone just how thin the line is between strategy and controversy.